What's the best way to get to success more quickly? Glad you asked. You multiply. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome to the RK3 Show. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3, that's me, and today's show is for the married folk. Yep, it's for the grown folk. No, I'm playing. You can listen too. Yeah, there's goodness in this episode, and I'm just excited because on today's episode, we have not just me, not just one, but two guests, and when I tell you, they are a power couple. Yeah, I'm psyched for this. But before we hop into the episode, I want to tell you about a few of our previous episodes. Last episode, we interviewed Jennifer McCullum, who leads Linkage, a leadership community for executives and business leaders. Check out her episode. You'll be glad you did. I also want to highlight episodes 28 and 29, where I speak with Jamie Swindell, and he talks about how you can make money with your voice in the training industry. Also, check out episode 34 with my friend Kathy Fayok as she talks about how to make more money speaking by writing. That's right, WRITE. Write a book and make more money with your story. Hey, go get on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and download those podcast episodes. Okay, here we go. My guest times two today is our STUV, whatever the grammar is. My people, a power couple, husband, wife, entrepreneurs, and business owners, Steve and Pasha Carter. Besides being married to each other, Pasha is a millionaire business coach, direct sales expert, speaker, mother of four. And Steve is, guess what, a millionaire business coach, a leadership and direct sales trainer. But he's most proud of being a dad. Me too, brother. Steve and Pasha have an awesome story. I know you want to hear it, so let's tell it. They're going to share some of their story right now with us and tell us a little bit about how they love each other, how they stand each other, and how they work together to make the world a better place. Steve, Pasha, how you doing today?
We are fantastic. Glad to be here, and we're also broadcasting live on our Facebook.
Excellent. Listen, we are going to have some fun. And today, I know you guys don't know, but I've been watching and stalking you a little bit for quite a few years, but we are going to be able to deliver some value to our people today. I'm clear on that. So let's start with this. Number one, how long have you guys been married to each other?
17.
She always looks at me.
I do. I know. I always look at
17.
It's 17 years, but I always feel like I'm going to get it a number off. So I always look just to confirm. Yes, 17.
It's usually the other way around, isn't it?
I need some praise for that because I'm always on point. It's 17 years.
Awesome. So listen, I know that I don't know enough of your background, Steve, but we'll come to you in a second. We know, Pasha, you started out, you were actually an NFL cheerleader. How did you, tell me a little bit about that, how you got into that and what led you out of it?
Well, yeah, I was an NFL cheerleader, as a matter of fact, for the Atlanta Falcons back in the, I'm not going to tell you the year, but no.
Back in the day.
It was back in the day. But I tell you what led me into that was I grew up as a competitive gymnast, and a lot of people don't know that. I spent my entire childhood in the gym. So I would go to school every day, and from Monday through Thursday, I would practice 5:30 to 8:30 every day after school, meets on the weekend. So I was a competitive gymnast. I made the state. I was the top in the region. I competed in the Junior Olympics. And then one day, I decided I wanted to be a cheerleader in high school, which my gymnastics coach was not very happy about. And I ended up doing a flip off the top of a pyramid where, girls stack on top of each other, and I was the one on top of the pyramid. And I did a backflip off the pyramid, and I ended up breaking my foot in 5 places. And that's what ended my gymnastics career. So needless to say, I wanted to be growing up Simone Biles, I wanted Gabby, so that was my dream. And then I started cheering. And from there, I cheered in high school and I went to University of Alabama, was on the dance team there. And eventually I decided, hey, let's take it to the highest level possible.
Awesome. Steve, tell us a little bit about your background quickly.
Born and raised Chicago, got a twin brother, grew up in a 2-parent household. Dad was always an entrepreneur, and mom was a school teacher. But when we were first born, she took off to raise us, and life was good, man. I can't complain, although the perspective of where we are today versus where I grew up, because inside the house there was nothing but love and all that. But being in Chicago, things are different. It's a whole nother game in Chicago. And unfortunately, there's some, a lot of things that you see on the news are accurate.
Right.
And I'm just very, very thankful that I was able to get the family. Once I became older and got married and started my own family, I wanted to make sure that the kids did not have to get exposed to some of those things that some of the challenges that are taking place back home.
Yeah, so we can go so many places with this interview. I almost want to go down the road of coming out of your background and then making it to a place where everybody views you as a success at this point, right? And then you've got your marriage. So let's talk about the marriage just for a second. You guys are married, and you've been married for 17 years. Now, a lot of times people get together and they create something together. I want to find out a little bit about, did you create this idea of a power couple together, or were there some things that you were doing before you got married that really allowed you to elevate once you got together?
Yeah.
Well, I'll answer. I'll start with that because, the thing that I think that's very important is we worked on who we were before we came together. So when we met, as a matter of fact, we were both getting promoted to the top position in our company the same weekend, and we didn't even know each other at the time. So he happened to be the 8th promotion. I was the 9th promotion. It was a random order. And we met backstage after getting promoted to the highest position in that company. So even prior to us coming together, we were working on our leadership skills. We were working on becoming better entrepreneurs. And then we got a chance to meet and became the best of friends. And the rest is history.
Wow. So being an entrepreneur is challenging in and of itself. When you're running a business on your own is tough. And then being married carries its own set of relationship and communication challenges, right? How do you guys navigate both of those successfully together?
I think one of the things, Robert, that has attributed to our success in terms of our marriage is we set some guidelines up front, some non-negotiables, I should say. One was always being truthful, and 2 is always communicating and letting each other know that if there's ever something that I've done, because I've never claimed to be perfect and I never will claim that, and vice versa.
Yes.
But we always said, no matter what, we're going to talk it through, because a lot of relationships that I had been in the past, I realized that there were certain things that could have been discussed. And if you hold on to certain thoughts or beliefs or assumptions and you don't discuss it, it usually ends up bad. And so Pasha and I started out this relationship saying, look, 100% truth, as well as always communicate. I mean, we may not agree, but we can agree to disagree and never go to bed mad at each other. I think those are some of the things. And then just the fact that we independently came up in business in a leadership role and teaching other people how to be the best version of themselves, it was easier for us to kind of come together because we had those like-minded beliefs and like-minded values. So that helped a whole lot.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about some personality traits for a second. Pasha mentioned at the very beginning that she's competitive. Right. And I actually saw a Facebook Live, I believe it was last year, where Pasha was racing against her daughter.
Facebook Live that everybody saw. Out of all the Facebook Lives, everybody saw the one where my daughter beats me live on Facebook.
My daughter smoked her.
She has to go down this road.
At that time, she was 14 years old.
Oh.
smoothly just took Pasha.
I still haven't quite gotten over that. Just,
The funny thing about that, Robert? I'm going to tell you the funny thing about that. We genuinely, 100% sincerely thought that, you know what, we got to teach these kids a lesson. A lot of times we think mom and dad are old and they got a lot to learn. So, I was 100% confident that Pasha was going to give her the business. And so I wasn't even considering a loss. And I'm not saying that in any kind of negative
but I think I was more hurt by the fact that I knew that, and I felt like, oh my God, Steve saw me. Like I let down. Seriously, I saw your face. I was like, I've never seen that level of disappointment. I had the phone out.
I was like, can you reverse a live?
The funniest thing.
I don't want to say bad connection.
But the funniest thing is, prior to us doing that, he said, "Hey, but you sure you want to go live?" And let me tell you something. First of all, not only was I a competitive gymnast growing up, I was also I ran track. So it was no doubt in my mind that I was going to beat her. So
we had never seen her run.
She just finished eating a bag of flaming hot Cheetos. So I'm just like, come on, let mommy show you what.
And my daughter doesn't track or any of that. She's a cheerleader, but she doesn't run track. So it's nothing like she's in a competitive sport like athletic in terms of running. You know what I mean? Like soccer
but that's okay. There's always round two. That's okay.
Yeah, that's coming.
Stay tuned.
So you got to train now, right?
I went to the gym this morning.
So how do you marshal that competitive spirit inside of your business as well as in your marriage?
Well, first of all, we never compete with each other. I've seen a lot of couples who do that, and I feel that, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, doesn't make it right. But I just feel like when you compete, if you're in a relationship, somebody always loses. So why compete? We've always said we're on the same team. So we may compete against the rest of the world, but we're on the same team. 100%. So we don't compete. So that competitive vibe doesn't come with us in business at all.
Communication, motivation, leadership, and more. You're listening to the RK3 Show.
Hey, are you interested in becoming a paid public speaker? Is that you? Well, jump into the show notes to download my free booklet, 15 Ways to Grab Speaking Gigs Now. You've got a story to tell, and you should be paid for it. So why not start right now? Go over to the show notes and grab your free download, or you can go to speakrightnow.com/15 ways. That's speakrightnow.com, WRITE, speakrightnow.com/15 ways. And now, back to the show. You've got some time in, and I believe my first exposure to you both was in network marketing. And so you've had not only your personal individual careers, but now you've kind of merged your paths together. What are some of the advantages? What are some of the things, maybe one or two things that you believe are advantageous in couples working together in business?
I'll answer that one, Robert. I think that if there's a good balance in terms of skill set and certain powers or certain talents, if there's a good balance and those talents are all needed, it's a easy thing to do, because I'll give you an example. Pasha has always been really good at the advertisement side or the marketing side and getting the word out. And then I'm more of the, hey, once people are on the team and behind the scenes, I'm in the trenches with them and teaching them the fundamentals and getting in the grind with them. And so that has always been a great balance, because that is not something that she prefers to do as much as, hey, listen, I will get the people to come. I'll let them know what we're doing, and be great at advertising, but
marketing.
But mine is more fundamentals. Yeah, boots on the ground. Let's go to work.
He's like Rain Man. That's what I say. When it comes to a compensation plan, Steve can look at a compensation plan and figure out how to go from A to Z, how to extract, how to make the most money in X amount of time. And so then with that
not
side
always
of it,
easy.
Yeah, no, it's that's
easy.
the thing we want. It's never easy. Anything worth having is never easy. I want to be very clear on that. That's very true. But then it's like, okay, well, who do we want? I believe in attraction marketing. We don't chase people down. We don't go look for people. Our whole goal is for people to be able to see the lifestyle, be able to see what we've been able to do, and for them to say to themselves, you know what, I've always had a dream of being able to not have to punch a clock or travel the world without, thinking about how much money it costs, and being able to have my own business and do business with my children and stuff like that. And many people want that. So when they see it, it attracts them to it versus us having to chase people down kind of thing.
So what's the flip side of that? What is maybe one challenge that you've had that is solely related to the fact that you're married, that you've had to navigate as it relates to business?
Okay.
Let's see. What is a challenge that we've had as a married couple?
Okay. Well, I'll say when I was pregnant, so we have 4 kids. And so when I was pregnant, I couldn't travel a lot. And I remember, sometimes when Steve would get on the road, it would be one of those things where if I couldn't travel, just not being able to participate. And what a lot of people don't know is when you're a mom and you're a wife and you're in business, sometimes depending upon the timing, you have to sacrifice things. So, like you said, I'm very competitive. So for me, it was hard. Just because I was pregnant, like I couldn't do everything that everybody else was doing, but I realized that I had to slow it down. I had to take care of the kids, take care of my body, because, nothing's going to work if mommy's sick and mommy isn't taking care of herself. So sometimes I have to slow myself down and slow that competitive vibe down and take care of me first.
Wow. So that's a great segue. So you're talking about self-care. Then you've got to deal with each other, set aside time for each other and with each other. And then you've got kids. And then you don't only have one business, you've got multiple businesses that you've got to manage. If I'm a new business person, or if I'm newly married and I'm saying, hey, I want the lifestyle that Steve and Pasha have, what is the best piece of advice that you can give to a newly married couple about attaining that or moving towards that?
Well,
yep. I'll answer either one.
Okay.
I can answer either one.
Well, for me, I will tell you, I think the most overrated thing is people trying to balance everything. Everybody wants this whole thing. How do you get things in balance? How do you balance your family, your business, your this? And I think balance is really overrated, because honestly, when you're doing so many things, being out of balance is okay. It's about being effective. That's what it's about. So, it may be a day where we spend more time doing business on this day, but tomorrow we spend a little more time with the kids. So it's not about balancing everything where everything's always balanced, because you're sure to drop something at some time. It's just a matter of being effective. Are you an effective parent? Are you loving your children? Do they know that you care? Are you spending that quality time with them versus the quantity of time? The same thing in business. Is your business growing? Are we tight? Are we still, in love and showing each other that? So those are the kind of things that, in my opinion, are important, is making sure you're effective in all areas versus just balanced.
But, I think the thing that you just said indicates long-term balance, but not necessarily structured balance on a daily basis. That's what you're referring to, because we don't have those. Every day has to be 2 hours doing this, 2 hours doing that, 2 hours doing this.
Make a date with your spouse, make a date with your kids, make a date with your business.
We've always been understanding of anything. If Pasha knows, like, for example, she jokingly said that I'm like Rain Man or whatever. Like, it's over this past week, for example, there's some things that I wanted to put in place for the current business that we're building. And I just needed some time to just zone in and just burn the midnight oil, go from ache to faint, put some things in place, create some things that I knew was going to be a benefit to the whole organization. And Pasha always, when she sees that, she'll say, hey, don't bother daddy. Let him do what he's doing. So even if it meant the whole Saturday, I'm working, I'm in here, pajamas on, doing my thing. And
let me tell that. It's because I want to tell you how this really looks here. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know when he's in his zone, and I'll know when it's a piece of work that he is like, he can't focus unless he gets it done. So as a wife, my thing is, I got it. So literally, he'll be down here in the office for what seems like 3 days straight, pretty much. He'll just come out for food. That's pretty much it. He'll come in clean shaved, and by the time I come down here, he has a full beard. I mean, it's like, and then one day he's done. But, one thing that he knows is I understand that. So It doesn't matter where he is in that space. I know, I understand how he's wired.
I heard an interview, not making any comparisons to how successful this young lady is, but I heard an interview once where it said Beyonce was working so hard that she went multiple days and realized she hadn't eaten.
Wow.
And, when you're in a zone, then you're focused on what you've got to get done, especially when there's big reward on the back end, and it. You can see something, but it hasn't come to fruition on the level where you want it, but it's coming, and you've got some things that have to be done, especially when Pasha and I, we can look at certain businesses because we've done this for 23 years. We've been full-time for 22 of the 23 years. So we know how to build a network marketing organization. We know how to build a team. And so sometimes you got to make little tweaks here or tweaks there to adjust to that particular company. But it's like, once you know what you have to do, it's like lock in like a pit bull, don't let go, and get it done, because the back end is going to be the reward.
Wow, you guys have provided such awesome information. Number one, about business. Number two, about navigating it together as a couple. What are some of the things that you guys are working on now? Where can people connect with you online? What should they be looking for in order to reach out to you?
Well, you can always connect with me on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook and Instagram, and it's at Pasha Carter official at Pasha Carter official. I should know that. And my website is pashacarter.com. That's PASHA Carter.com.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm easy to find on Facebook, and then I'm Steve Carter official on Instagram, or is that Twitter? One of those. It's either Steve Carter official or Steve Carter online. Lets you know how into that I am. But the main thing is that, we are so easily accessible and easy to be reached. And we're always, one thing that we love, I was just talking to a young lady, not to get sidetracked, but I was talking to a young lady on Facebook Messenger, and she mentioned something about her business. And I said, listen, contact my wife, because we are always about supporting each other in small business. And she immediately contacted Pasha, and Pasha was like, oh yeah, I already responded to her. I'm like, great, because our whole thing is connecting with other entrepreneurs. And if there's some value we can bring to them in any aspect, even this podcast here, if it's bringing value to somebody, that's what we're all about. And so people can reach us on social media. They can find us easily. And if there's anything we can do, we are 100% there to guide them in anything that they're looking for.
Yeah, we're firm believers that if we support each other, if we promote each other, if we shine the light on each other, because one thing I learned years ago in business is shining the light on someone else does not dim yours. So I love highlighting other people who have a business and supporting their business. Why? Because I don't understand how someone can get hurt and say, oh, someone didn't try my product or someone didn't try my service, but yet you're not supporting other business. So you've got to talk, you've got to walk your talk. And so for us, that's the first thing that we do. We're always, if someone needs a connection to help their business grow, we're like, hey, you need to talk to so-and-so. If someone, wants a little more publicity, hey, get in touch with so-and-so. I want to get you in this magazine. So it's not about us. It's just about who can we serve and how many people can we help.
Okay, 3 words: stop, rewind, play. This was gold, and I know you agree. Not even up for debate. So do me a favor, will you? Listen again, but share this episode with a friend. Success isn't achieved on your own, because no man or woman is an island. Admit you need help and go get it. And when you get it, admit you got it. Whether you are on the journey in tandem like Steve and Pasha, or on your own right now, embrace your gifts, embrace your calling, embrace your story, and then put in the work to make success happen for you and those you love. That's it, people. That's all, folks. Head to the show notes to grab the links, resources from this episode, then go over to Apple Podcasts to leave a ranking, rating, and review for the show. Then head over to the other major podcast outlets wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope you had fun today, and I hope you learned something. Most of all, I hope you were compelled to jump out of your comfort zone and share your story. Hey, y'all, don't forget, everything that happens to you in life is your stuff is your story, and your story deserves a stage. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3, and you've been listening to
The